Good morning, children. So, welcome back to the next part of the lesson. So, I told you about the lymph in the last video. So, lymph is a colorless fluid which is formed during the exchange of material inside the tissue. So, lymph is a colorless fluid which do not contain RBC. Yes, apart from RBC, they contain some proteins, plasma, all that part of the blood. So already we have studied about the blood in the last year. I hope you remember it. So blood contains RBC, WBC, platelets, and also it contains carbon dioxide, oxygen, and we have hormones, proteins, fat, all that is present. Some part of the blood so enters the tissues in the intracellular space of the tissue or interstitial tissue, interstitial space of the tissues. From there, it is carried. It moves to the lymphatic capillaries. From the lymphatic capillary, it moves to the lymph vessels. From the lymph vessel, again, it joins to the circulatory system of the body. That is called a lymphatic system or lymph. So lymph actually contains proteins, plasma, and they contains WBC also. That's why they produce antibodies to kill the microorganism that enters our body. That it means it will help in the immunity of to increase the immunity of the body also. Similarly, it also carries the digested food, the proteins, fat from the intestine, and dumps into the um, into the again to the circulatory system. Means whatever the fluid present in the intracellular space is drained out from the lymphatic capillaries. And then lymphatic vessels. This is how it is. These are the function of the lymph that we have studied. Then we'll move to the next part of the lesson, the transportation in plants. Before going to transportation in plant, so if you have any doubt in the transportation of transportation in circulatory system in human, just ask me now. Transportation in what are lymph nodes? See in certain lymphatic vessel there are some parts. So again, those parts called as lymphatic nodes usually. These nodes, what they do actually, I don't know the function. I will tell you in the next class about this. But the exact function of lymph nodes. Lymph nodes are nothing but they are the part of this lymphatic system. So nodes means like bunch it is. I'll tell you what is the function of the lymph node in the next class. Rasmi.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So lymph nodes are nothing but they are the part of lymphatic system. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So then anybody having any doubts regarding this? So about lymph nodes we'll discuss later. So how the blood clots? I hope you got an idea about blood clotting, hypertension, all that. Now what is lymph? Anybody having any sort of doubt in lymphs? If you have any doubt, the lymph, let me know. Yeah. Tell me if you have any doubt in lymph. So I think that, but is any sort of doubt. So main work of the lymphatic system is that only it drains out all the content present in the intracellular space or interstitial tissues that will be carried out by the lymphatic system. That is only lymphatic system contain lymph. So lymph actually what they do, one more function is that only they have antibodies. They produce antibodies which kill the microorganisms which enter our body. Means they are the part of our immune system. This is about the lymph. So we'll move to the next part of the lesson. Shreya Bhatt is asking, so how many heartbeat, how many times in a minute? It is 72 beats per minute. 72 in adult. The pulse rate, it is called as pulse. So doctors usually they will hold this breast and they will check it here. You can feel that. See, arteries. I told you, arteries will have high blood pressure. Arteries will have high blood pressure. You can just check it here. So you can see the arteries are. So whatever we see the veins. ನೀವು ನರ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ. ಯಾರು ಕಾಮನ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲ ನರ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ನರ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ವೆಸಲ್ಸ್ ದೇ ಆರ್. ಏನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಬ್ಲೂ ಕಲರ್ ಕಾಣ್ತದಲ್ಲ, ನೀಲಿ ಕಲರ್, ಅದು ಬ್ಲಡ್ ವೆಸಲ್, ಅದು ವೇನ್ಸ್. ಅದು ನಮಗೆ ಕಾಣುವಂತದ್ದು ವೇನ್ಸ್. ಆರ್ಟರೀಸ್ ಯಾವಾಗೂ ಡೀಪ್ ಲೊಕೇಟೆಡ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ರಸ್ಟ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಆರ್ಟರಿ ಬೀಟ್ ಕಾಣ್ತದೆ. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ದಟ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್. ನೋಡಿ, ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಹರಿಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ. ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಿವಿ ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಡಿರಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ದಟ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಓವರ್ ದೇರ್. ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ? ಈ ಕಿವಿ ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಅಪ್ಪರ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಇಯರ್ ಪಿನ್, ಈ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆ ಫೀಲ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ. So how many of you are feeling that? Raise your hands. ಫೀಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫೀಲ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಥ್ರೋಟ್. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಹೋಲ್ಡ್ ದ ಥ್ರೋಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ಹಿಯರ್. ಇನ್ನು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡಿ, ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಕಡೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಫೀಲ್ ದಟ್. ಸೊ ಆರ್ಟರೀಸ್ ಯೂಶುವಲಿ ಡೀಪ್ ಲೊಕೇಟೆಡ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. That's only. And if you take 72 beat per minute is in pulse is in adult, but in case of children's, means newborn baby or up to some years, the blood pressure or this pulse rate will be 120 beats per minute. 120 pulse will be, children's pulse will be more, because it is a growing stage. More of cell division is happening. Tumba cell divisions ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತದೆ. Primary children to take, their growth is very high. Means they will be growing year by year. Will be growing. When you reach around 14-16 years, the growth will stop. So only there is a increase in the cells, and it may conclude, or fat deposition may happen and your weight will increase. Not after certain time your height will never increase. So in child there is the growth is very fast over there. That's why the heartbeat is 120. Heartbeat is 120 per minute. 120 means more, exactly double the normal adult heartbeat. So if you can check newborn baby ಇದ್ರೆ ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಚೆಸ್ಟ್ ಹತ್ರ ಕಿವಿ ಹಿಡಿದು ನೋಡಿ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಪಲ್ಸ್ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಬೀಟ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ. Can just see, you can listen that the beats of newborn baby, the beats will be very high. Is it clear, Shreya? Okay. Yes, sir. So, if you have any doubt regarding about the transportation of heart, you can ask. One more thing, hemophilia and the disease in Tubutunta. How many of you heard about the disease called hemophilia? I hope I have told in 9th standard. 9th standard ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಇದು hemophilia ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಒಂದು disease ಇದೆ. How many of you know about hemophilia disease? Raise your hands, Vinci. Anybody knows about the disease called hemophilia? Yes, Rashmi knows. Nikhil Aragade, Sumak. Yeah, Rashmi, can you tell me what is that hemophilia?
That blood will be less.
I'm not able to hear you. So maybe your network is not good. Okay, you can just type the message. You can just type the answer in the chat box. Nikhil,
Yes, sir.
can you tell me what is hemophilia?
Sir, amount clotting of blood will be less.
So your voice is breaking. I cannot hear you properly. Yeah, Vaishnavi.
Sir, more bleeding happens. Clotting will be less.
So yeah, you are correct. Exactly, you can just modify your answer. You need to modify your answer.
Excessive bleeding with less clotting.
Okay, good. Okay. As your friend said, it is right. Means the person usually when any injury happens, blood will ooze out. See, after oozing out, after some time, the blood will clot. I told you, blood contains some proteins called as fibrinogen. Fibrinogen, when it comes contact with air, it converts to fibrin, nothing but clot. So the person who is suffering from this hemophilia disease will not have clotting factors. Either their platelets will not help in the clotting process, or they cannot produce. Means this fibrinogen, and fibrinogen cannot convert into fibrin. Like that, there are some factors. There are many factors which help in the clotting of blood. The patient who is suffering from hemophilia, the bleeding time becomes more. Means the clotting time, the blood will never clot for some time. Means for some patient it will never clot also. That disease is called hemophilia. It is a genetic disease. It comes from the genetic disease, means it is the disease which is transferred from the genes from parents to children. So hemophilic patient. So just it is a part of the blood. That's why I told you. So such type of any doubt you have regarding the circulation of heart, I tried to tell you about the blood pressure and bypass surgery and stent and all. So in the video, in the online classes, I cannot tell you everything. If it is in class, I would have told still better you would have understood. So that is about the circulation of blood. So if you have any doubt regarding this, you can just WhatsApp me, and you can call me also. Okay, we'll move to the next part of the lesson, that is transportation in plants. Transportation in plants. So transportation in plants. So last year we have learnt about the tissue chapter. In the tissue chapter we have learnt about the vascular bundle. Vascular bundle. So vascular bundle are nothing but they are the tissues which will help in the transportation of water. Tissues which help in transportation of water, minerals, and food. It's called vascular bundle. Vascular bundle contains tissue called as the xylem tissue. You know it. Then phloem tissue. Actually, these are the two tissue which makes up vascular bundle. Xylem and phloem tissue makes up the vascular bundle. They help in the water transportation of water and minerals and food also. So already you know it. I will tell you the xylem tissue. Xylem tissue is the tissue which contains mainly xylem tissue helps in the transportation of water and minerals. Water and minerals from soil to the upper part of the plant body. Soil to the upper part of the plant body. So now you think this is the soil. This soil. Soil contains water and minerals. The minerals are dissolved in the water. You know it. We think that this is a root. And root will have xylem tissue. Xylem tissue is made up of four type of cells. I hope you remember. So xylem trachea and xylem vessels. So xylem trachea and xylem vessels. They help in these trachea and xylem vessels help in the transportation of water in the plant body wherever it is necessary. See, you think this is a root? So this root will have the trachea or vessels. So I am roughly drawing the diagram. And you think this is a leaf. This is a leaf. So these are tracheas. So you know that the plants are fixed in the soil. The roots are present. The root enters the soil. By the help of the root, the water is absorbed. When water is absorbed, minerals also will enter the root. And when this root absorbs the water plus minerals, it is taken to the leaf. Where exactly the photosynthesis happens. Leaf is a site of photosynthesis. So water and minerals are carried to the leaves, mainly to the leaves. So by the help of these tracheas, I told you they are arranged like a cell to cell, like a chain. Here they are arranged like this. So you know that osmosis and diffusion, you know. Osmosis means what? The movement of materials from region of higher concentration to region of lower concentration. That is called as osmosis. So by the help of this diffusion and osmosis, what happens? So you know that the soil contains water and minerals, and here the concentration. Here the concentration is more. Concentration is high. Inside this trachea, the concentration will be less. Means here it is high concentration. Here it is low concentration. The mineral concentration with water is very high over here in the soil, and here in the trachea or inside not only trachea, inside the cells of the plant body it is low. Reason the the concentration is low. That's why what happens here? The water with the minerals will enter the trachea, will enter the xylem tissue. Xylem tissue from higher concentration to the lower concentration. Now this cell, which here the water enters. When the water enters here, this cell became now more concentration. The concentration of this cell increases now. This cell will have lower concentration. So it transfers here, then transfers here. So like this way, it enters the finally to the leaves. Finally to the leaves. This type of transportation of water or minerals is called as passive transportation. Passive transportation. Passive transportation means here. So water is transported. Water and minerals are transported without expending any energy. Without expending any energy. Plant is never. So it is never involving the energy. So it is not giving up energy and taking up. Means here passive transportation which happens without any involvement of energy is called as passive transportation. Passive transportation. So one more is the active transportation. Active transportation. Here the plants utilizes energy to transportation of water or any minerals or for the transportation it gives ATP or energy produced, and it will expend some energy to do the transportation. Then it is called active transportation. So now what I told now, the movement of water and minerals to the leaves, this is called as passive transportation. Passive transportation is achieved by the pressure difference in the tissues and in the soil. How the pressure increases? Concentration of water and minerals. By that, here without expenditure of energy, the water and with minerals will move to the leaves. That is called as passive transportation. Passive transportation. So by the help of osmosis diffusion, what happens? The water will move to the cells inside the roots, then finally to the xylem. How? By concentration difference. Concentration difference. So here in the soil, it is having the more concentration inside the cells. It is having low concentration. So the movement of material happens from higher concentration to lower concentration. How this low pressure is achieved over here? How this low pressure is achieved? You know about transpiration. Transpiration means what? Removal of water from the plant body. Removal of water from the plant body is called as transpiration, or removal of excessive water from the plant body through aerial parts. Aerial part means what? Usually leaves, stems and all. From the aerial part of the plant, the upper part of the plant, aerial part of the plant, the leaves are, it may be stem. From there, the water is evaporated. What water? Excess water. When water is evaporated, when water evaporates here, that is called as transpiration. When transpiration happens, it creates a low pressure here. So these are the cells here present in the leaves. So here, when the water is evaporated, here it creates a low pressure. Because of this low pressure, the water is absorbed by the leaves. Means transpiration not only just helpful. Transpiration is not just a removal of excess of water. It also helps in the absorbing the minerals and water from the soil by the help of root. Understood? Means this is a driven force. This is a a force. This is a driven force which is necessary for absorbing the water. During the transpiration, just the plant will not only remove the water, it will also absorb the water by creating a low pressure area. This is how the water is transported by the help of the xylem tissue through transpiration. The driven force, this force which helps in the transpiration or absorption of water, that is called transpiration pull. Transpiration pull. This is the force. Transpiration pull is a force which will help the plant to absorb the water during the transpiration. So this is how the plant absorbs the water. Plant will absorb the water from the soil and it circulates to the all part of the plant body, especially to the leaves where the photosynthesis happens. So this is about the transportation of water and minerals in the plant body. So if you have any doubt regarding this, you can just ask question now. Any doubt? See, transpiration is not only just a removal of excess of water, it also helps in the transportation of minerals and soil from the water and minerals from the soil also by the help of root. That is and you know that transpiration is nothing. Transpiration also cools the plant body. Whenever the transpiration happens, a lot of or excess of heat produced in the plant body is removed. How in our body heat is produced during the metabolic activity or any activity, running maybe and any work, maybe physical work or mental work, will have a certain heat produced in the body because of chemical reaction which happens inside the body, metabolic activity. Heat is produced. That heat is removed by the help of perspiration, means sweating, perspiration. Similarly, transpiration is nothing but removal of excess of water from the plant body. It has to be removed. So when the plant body will remove this water from the help of transpiration, here it pulls a force is created. That force is nothing but transpiration pull. Yeah, by the help of transpiration pull, the plant absorbs the water and it is carried to the leaves. This is how actually transportation of water happens. So in next part of the lesson, we are going to study about the transportation of food prepared by the leaves. You know that the leaves is a site of photosynthesis. During the photosynthesis, what happens? The food in the form of glucose, it is produced. That glucose or carbohydrate has to be carried to the different parts of the plant body by the help of a tissue called as phloem tissue. Understood? So we'll stop it today and we'll see the transportation of food by the help of phloem in the next class. Thank you. So if you have any doubt regarding the whatever taught today, please ask now. 5 minutes I'll give for asking question. Yeah, I hope you don't have any doubt. Read the lesson in the textbook and understand the concept. Thank you.